Hi, welcome to In the Valley podcast. I'm Ethan Harkness.
I'm Colin Mach.
I'm Brandon Studebaker.
I'm Christian Dagostino.
And I'm Trey McCardle.
Today's episode is talking about broadcasting, mainly sports through television and radio. And towards the second half of it, we have a special guest, so stay tuned in that. And I just hope y'all enjoy this episode. So today we're talking about broadcasting. There's many types of broadcasting, and what are some of y'all's favorite broadcasts?
I can go first.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So recently, I would say that my favorite way to broadcast and what I do primarily is through streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
I would say my favorite is Paramount Plus because
for
of their recent acquisition of the UFC. I'm a big UFC fan, so when they bought out the rights to the UFC, that was like a big deal, like to not have to buy the pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah.
Or stream it other ways. They basically, the entire portfolio of all UFC content is now in Paramount Plus, making it a monopoly, which is a big deal for the fans because it's significantly cheaper, like hundreds of dollars cheaper.
Yeah. I kind of like how Disney kind of bought ESPN or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of games on there because I already have that, so it makes it easier.
Well, you can also do like the ESPN, Hulu, Disney bundle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then like some stuff you can just do on whatever.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be for me, like I used to love YouTube TV because, it was usually you just get the local games and, you didn't have to worry about too much. But when that whole thing went down with ESPN, when they lost the rights, and I remember everybody was in a frenzy for a week because you couldn't watch anything.
Yeah.
You couldn't even watch a basic Clemson game.
Yeah.
I would probably say like ESPN Plus lately for me has been like one of the best because I've been kind of getting more in the NHL, and they have all the NHL on ESPN Plus now. And then like the Masters is coming up, and they have all the best things. I feel like to watch the Masters on ESPN Plus. So it's just, I think that subscription is really worth it.
I like that. I second that too because like right now the Australian Open was going on, one of the tennis majors, and it was nice because the finals match was at like 3:30 in the morning, and not a lot of Americans are staying up for that. So they do a thing where you can they record it automatically, and you can go in and restart it from the beginning. Yeah. So like this morning, I woke up with my family and we were just watching the match all the way from the beginning, which was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are some of y'all's favorite broadcasters, like when you're watching games and stuff?
Dude, I love the Hornets guy.
Yeah,
he gets so hyped.
What's his name? I can't remember.
I don't even know.
Is it
Eric Collins?
Eric Collins. It's Eric Collins.
Yeah,
dude, him and like Gus Johnson, those are my two favorite guys.
They call some games together. They call some college basketball games together. It's electric.
Dude, it's wild.
I like Tom Brady and Tony Romo.
I love Tony Romo.
Tony Romo.
Predict all the plays before they happen and tell you what's going to happen, and it always happens.
Yeah, no, that's sick. I know he's pretty slandered and overhated, but I'm low-key a big Joe Buck guy. I love Joe Buck.
Joe Buck has gotten better.
He does a good job in MLB.
Better.
I love watching the World Series. Sorry to interrupt, Brandon.
No, you're good. I just remember watching him early on, and that man was just so plain. He was just so stale. And now, I don't know where it's come from now, because I think now he's a lot more energized. And I think when it comes to announcing, energy from announcers needs to be a big thing because you're supposed to represent the audience.
Yeah.
If you're not representing the audience, then it's a guy who does Monday night.
Chris Collinsworth, he does Sunday night.
I'm thinking
of the old Al Michaels.
Al Michaels. Can't stand listening to Al Michaels anymore.
But he's a legend. You can't.
He is a legend.
He was on the 1980 U.S. Olympic semifinal hockey game with the U.S. and the Russians. I don't know if you guys know it. That game.
Really?
There's a movie about it. It's called Miracle. Hell of a sports movie. hell of a sports movie. But like, dude, on the other side of the energy stuff, you could go with like a guy like Jim Nance, where he does the Masters and he's just like, "Hello, friends," like teeing it up, and he's just calm, cool, collected. I love Jim Nance.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout right there for sure.
I like the dudes who just bring energy because,
Mhm.
like, watching it online, you don't get like the reactions from the crowds and stuff. So, like,
Mhm.
having people who bring that energy to kind of simulate that is very important, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so there's many types of broadcasting which I never really knew about because, like, I always thought it was just the people online, but in chapter 8 it goes through many different types such as like anchoring, play-by-play, color commentator, sideline reporter, reporting, and packages. The differences.
I just completely froze. I don't know if you asked me a question or not.
Well, I was just asking general questions like out of all the like categories of broadcasting, like which ones would y'all see like would be the most fun to do?
Oh, definitely probably anchoring because
Mm,
I
Yeah.
don't I kind of like being able to give my 2 cents on like what just happened rather than having to be the play-by-play guy and have to constantly talk and kind of guide people through it. But I mean, honestly, like if I were to get a job like that, I feel like I would have to be the play-by-play guy because nowadays like they want the anchor to always be someone like Tony Romo, like Tom Brady,
yeah,
someone
Yeah.
that can like really
I
like
got
tap
you.
in.
Sorry, my computer's about to die.
I know you're good.
Do y'all ever do the thing where you feel like you say the thing that the announcer says right before he says it?
Yeah.
I feel like I've caught myself doing that recently, and I'm like, whoa, maybe I could do this.
Well, no, the worst is like when Tony Romo. I just remember like during that Pats game against the Broncos. Like I swear to God, he jinxed the Broncos so hard on that play that Jared Stidham fumbled. He was like, "No turnover so far for Stidham. He's doing so well." Next play,
They
sack
always do
fumble.
that.
It's just
They're like
crazy
when
how
they
that
have to
works.
make a field goal, they're like he
Yeah,
hasn't missed at all this year, and then he
I hear
shanks it.
that. I swear they jinx him every time they pop up that graphic. Like the Oklahoma kicker, they popped up a graphic for him. He's like, yeah, he just won the Lou Groza Award. He's
Oh
one of the
yeah,
best kickers in the
I
nation.
saw that.
And he missed 2 straight field goals. And I'm like, dude, there's no way.
Always the
yeah,
kicker, bro.
It's
It's always
always the kickers, man. I mean, it also is like, it's most of the time, like, sometimes a quarterback. Like, I remember I watched, I think it was like a Broncos Patriots game. It was like when Brock Osweiler was quarterback. I remember Chris Collinsworth was talking about, like, oh, he's looking sharp today. He's looking great. And literally, the second he said that, he threw a straight pick six.
yeah.
I'm like, dude.
that stuff happens too much, I swear.
Hmm.
But like, have you guys ever looked into like the not so much the talking aspect, but like the behind the scenes stuff? I think that's super interesting. Where they'll go in the trailer and they'll show the production and how
Oh
everything's being
yeah, of
done.
all the extra
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, I think those are sweet. They did like a shout out like that on College Game Day this year, and I don't remember like what game it was, but there's some guy
Yeah,
was he was important, and they
It
went
might have
over
been the
and
national championship just because it was like the last game or like the
yeah,
last show.
but they were showing like, dude, those guys have a crazy responsibility to keep things going and doing all the cuts and
yeah,
stuff. It's super wild.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I think play-by-play would be pretty hard because you constantly got to talk,
Yeah,
constantly have to be engaged, and you can't really take a break until like commercial break or something like that.
I think
Also, like,
baseball would be the hardest for play by play because the
Yeah,
season's so long, and
yeah,
especially if you're like a local radio guy, like dude, like throughout the summer and into August and September, those are it gets old. I feel like, and then
yeah, no,
you can tell by the way that those guys are talking. They're just finding stuff to talk about. They'll eat in the booth and talk
yeah.
about the food in the
yeah,
stadium.
yeah, no, literally. But like, I almost feel like the only reason why I feel like working for like a local baseball team would be better would be because you can like show your bias through the broadcast. Like,
Yeah,
if
that's
let's
fair.
say like hypothetically I make it big and I got to call like a Clemson Carolina game, like obviously I'm gonna start like getting pissed in the booth, like
Yeah,
if it's not going our way.
yeah,
So I just feel like that's hard. Like whenever I see like Kirk Herbstreit like call Ohio State games. Like I'm really like surprised he never he always like stays like super calm and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair. His sons went to Clemson for a little bit too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he never did anything when they were here. He was always just like, oh, if it was game day, he'd be like, I love Dabo and the way that he runs the ship, and it's great that I have my kids here. And then when they call it, he'd be like, oh, Clemson sucks or something like
Yeah.
that.
So there's like the TV version, which is like more popular, I feel, but like there's also radio and like broadcasting radio, which I feel like would be a lot harder to do because you're providing all that information for the audience because they're not seeing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, isn't that where the term like color commentating came in? Is because you're like trying to paint a picture.
Mm-hmm. But did y'all ever like listen to radio? Like,
Yeah,
you're driving?
I probably listen to. I like if the Braves are on and I'm driving, I have the app. I'm just gonna turn them on just because like sometimes like music will just get old, and I'll just like I want to listen to some sports, and I find like listening to baseball therapeutic. I don't know why.
Yeah. There's the I don't know what radio station it is, but it's like some upstate radio country station that I have on my car. And then if you hook in Apple CarPlay and the ESPN app, if you have like the notifications on your home screen, sometimes the CarPlay will show the game and give you live updates whenever like there's a score or something. So I'll set whenever there's Clemson, I'll turn on that radio station and then have the updates.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving on my car, it's like basketball. It shows you you can hear, Don
Munson.
Yeah, Don Munson. You can hear him talking, and then you can see whenever they score. So I think that's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
What
For sure.
sports are the best you think for radio to listen to on radio?
I think football, because like I feel like there's more excitement. Like there's a lot of big plays, so like it just adds more excitement. But like basketball, it's just constantly going. So like,
that was one thing I'm about to say, because like basketball, like when we're talking about play-by-play, I'm like, man, basketball would be hard because you are constantly going.
Yeah,
like, it is, unless like a foul happens or something, you are going.
Yeah.
The one thing I always am in the broadcasters for like football, to me, this would be really hard, is to memorize everybody's name, number, and position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they have like a sheet, but
I
still,
read that most of them have like a giant sheet of like everyone on it, and they just memorize that, I guess.
They probably also get it. I think they get it like way beforehand, so they can like study it, because obviously they know the game they're gonna call like way before.
Right.
Lots of memorization.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
Well, in the reading of chapter 9, it states that like the two like major roles for radio broadcasting are play-by-play and color commentating. And like the difference in these is play-by-play is pretty much stating everything that happens. So like each play they describe like what's happening, who's getting the ball, who's scoring, or whatever. And then color commentary is more of like that energy and bringing that, I guess, element that the person describing the game doesn't bring to the table. And I feel like having both of these are very important because it's hard to describe the game and have energy. So you need that second opinion and second voice to help do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Another topic that they talked about in the book is sport talk radio, which is a 24/7 audio format dedicated to sports analysis, debate, news, and live caller commentary. There's local and national. And so local, obviously, we'll talk about like the local sports, and then national is more broad, talking about like the different major leagues like the NFL, NBA. And they'll like interview coaches and athletes, and they will bring in live callers to hear from their audience. And it requires you to be energetic and opinionated, like Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith. And the big like radio stations that you'll see these on are Sirius XM and Fandom.
Dude, growing up, my I spend a lot of time with my grandparents, kind of in the summers and stuff when my parents are busy. Right, my grandpa was on West Virginia sports talk radio. Like he'd try and call in, he never got on the phone and all this stuff. He just wanted to give his 2 cents, and they were just rage baiting so hard. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna suck this year," and he's like, "No, we're not." No.
Yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps things up for our roundtable. We're going to shift now into our special guest, who is Faxon Childress. He is actually the color commentator for the Clemson women's basketball team. So we're going to be able to talk with him on that and get some information on what he does and his everyday work. All right, guys, welcome back to the In the Valley podcast. We now have our special guest, Faxon Childress. He is the host of Faxon Sports on 105.5 The Roar, and he also does play-by-play broadcasting for Clemson women's basketball. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Faxon.
Yeah, excited to be here with you guys, and excited to talk a little bit about sports media here today, and appreciative for the opportunity and the platform.
Yeah, thank you. I think Ethan's going to get us started with our first couple questions. So, Ethan, if you want to take it away from here.
Christian actually has the first question.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start it off. You're good. So Faxon, just to jump right into it, what made you decide that sport media was something you wanted to pursue? And was that a decision you made kind of early on or later towards into your college career?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say it was one that I made very early on, but it wasn't something that I came into college with the expectation of going into it. I got here to Clemson as a freshman and didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had played sports in high school. I'd always been around sports, and that had been a kind of a part of my identity. And I did club basketball and was involved with women's basketball, but I wasn't necessarily like good enough to be a Division I athlete, but I knew I wanted to be around sports. And I just kind of got a unique opportunity at USC Upstate to be able to be the color analyst on one of their ESPN Plus broadcasts for women's soccer. It was just on a random afternoon, and I was at the game already, and the analysts had gotten COVID, and they asked if anybody had any level of soccer experience or knowledge, and they just threw me on the headset, and they thought I did a good job. But I think that for me was kind of my moment that I realized I wanted to be behind the microphone and be involved in sport in that context. So it happened early in my college career, but it wasn't something that I came into college with the expectation of, getting into. And it wasn't really something I knew that I loved until I did it for the first time, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When you first jumped on that, initial broadcast, did it feel very natural to you? Or was it kind of just something that was like, oh, I'm nervous, you know what I mean?
To be honest, I was nervous. There was definitely like a feeling of it being natural, and I think I got significantly more comfortable with the flow of the game and as the broadcast went along. But I had never really done anything like that in my career at that point. I had some internship experience, and a lot of things that were significantly lower level than being live on air on ESPN Plus. So I would say that there was definitely a little bit of an intimidation factor to start things out. And it definitely felt like a little bit of imposter syndrome too, where it was like, okay, like, is this too big of a moment for me? And like, am I, screw up and say the wrong thing? But, as I've know now and come to know now, like the only way you get better at doing stuff like this is to get those reps and get that experience. So I walked away from it just trying to take the positives of the experience, and it was really fun.
Cool. Awesome. Ethan, if you want to go ahead.
Yep. My question for you is, what is your dream position you would like to see yourself in with like play-by-play?
For me, easy NBA or college basketball on a major network. I'm a big basketball fan. I played soccer and basketball pretty much my whole life. And I've gotten to be really involved with Clemson men's and women's basketball the last 5 years, dating back to when I was in school and now post grad. So for me, there's just something different about calling a basketball game. I don't know what it is necessarily. I don't know how to put my finger on it, but it feels right and it feels natural when I'm behind the mic on basketball specifically. So NBA on TNT was the dream for a long time. Now that they've got Peacock, I don't care who has the rights. I'll work for any of them, but NBA or big time college basketball for sure.
Could you see yourself doing any football, or you're just
Yeah, I mean, I'm not somebody that like runs from the grind when it comes
Yeah.
to diversity of sports. Like I've been working really hard the last couple weeks and months to learn lacrosse because I'll be doing some Clemson lacrosse this year. And coming into the summer or the off season for them, I had no idea what even the rules were about lacrosse. So I'm definitely adaptable when it comes to that. And I love football too. I love soccer. I love baseball. And any broadcast is a great opportunity, but for basketball, there is just a little bit different of a intimate feeling when I get behind the mic for basketball.
Makes sense. Mm,
Here, I'll go next. Faxon, how has having your own show help you grow within the field, would you say?
I think that's a good question. It's pressure. It's added pressure and it's added expectations. And when you have to be behind the mic every day for 3 hours and you're the, sole proprietor of original content, that's something that's not necessarily easy. It sounds like a dream come true because it is. And you're talking ball for a living. And I think that's ultimately a lot of people's goal that enter this space. But it also comes with 15 hours of original content per week that's entirely on me to plan and prep and pull stats for and book guests for. So it's increased my platform. It's definitely ascended and elevated me from a status perspective from where I was when I started to where I am now in my career. But that also comes with the work that you have to put in behind the scenes that I don't think a lot of people realize what all goes into it. So it's got its pros and cons, just like every job, but I really do enjoy it, and it's a blessing to have that opportunity every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say is like a day to day for a film, like when you're filming? What is
Um, Like for me personally, I usually try and like knock out my prep for my show the night before. So whether it's like we do a lot of like what's going on now, right? So whether it's the basketball game last night, like if any of y'all were watching Kansas versus Texas Tech, like we previewed that game on the show. Then I had to watch it last night and then kind of collect my thoughts to talk about it again this morning to break the game down. Clemson's got a upcoming road trip to the West Coast, and then I'm on the road with the women tomorrow. So we had our play-by-play voice, Don Munson, on the show today as a guest to talk about his experiences out in Stanford and talk about the campus and the facilities and all that and help preview the game and break down the game. So I would say, like, from a preparation standpoint, I do the majority of it the night before. And then my show runs 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time. So I'm usually getting into the studio around 8:15 to 8:30, going over my prep and just making sure that everything's ready to go, talking to my co-host and producer about whether we have any guests for that day or what I want the schedule and the flow to look like. And then we roll the ball and go play.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Faxon, your next question that I have for you, I was wondering if you ever ran into any challenges or problems when trying to grow your brand, and if you did, how did you overcome these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I definitely still kind of get looked at a little bit strange because of my age. Like, I just think like the demographic gap is definitely something that has to be overcome for young people trying to break into the industry. And I think it's more difficult to earn respect and to be taken seriously at a young age, which I'm
Hmm.
sure you guys can imagine. I think it's similar for a lot of different professions, but like for me, the role that I'm in right now as the host, Kwok is 37 and he's the closest to me in age. Mickey's in
Yeah.
his upper 50s and then Walt's in his upper 60s. So those are the three people that share my position at my station. So it's just like different is what I would say. You get looked at a little bit different. You have to work a little bit harder to earn that respect and to earn credibility. But outside of that, I mean, I think I've been in a very positive environment for the most part in Clemson in the media landscape. And I've had
Hmm.
a lot of people around me that have been very supportive of me and have uplifted me throughout that process. So it comes with its challenges like every career does. But I think a lot of those are related to things that aren't really in my control, which has helped me just kind of approach the mindset of if I'm doing what I need to be doing from a preparation standpoint, and I'm confident in the product that I'm putting out, then that's all I can control at the end of the day. And I can't control how I'm perceived by others. So I
mm.
just try and continue to work hard through regardless of what might be being said or how I'm perceived and keep it pushing.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, man.
Just another question, Faxon. What kind of tips have you been given, or would you give somebody to, help through your kind of career, or help somebody that's like going through your kind of, situation or career?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think something that I tell everybody, like students that are looking to break into the landscape, is to say yes to every opportunity, even if it's not your ideal sport or your ideal role at the time. Like I had to jump through a lot of loopholes before I was just trusted with being play-by-play on a broadcast for a D1 college sporting event. I had to hack it at lower levels, with D2s and D3s. I had to take a lot of opportunities where I was the analyst and not the play-by-play guy. There's a lot of times where you're going to have to take unpaid internships, or you're going to have to show up to gymnastics and softball and all these different events to where you can be rubbing shoulders with people to make valuable connections and, networking to be able to be in the room as people that are going to make decisions that dictate your career one day. So I would say it's all just about having a sacrifice type mindset and realizing that if you put in the work up front, and if you're willing to say yes to any and every opportunity, then the opportunities you really are seeking are going to come on the back end as a result of that.
Do you think like networking, like especially in this kind of field, do you think it's probably like one of the biggest things in this kind of field, like bigger than like a lot of other positions?
I would say yes, just because there's a lot of politics that are involved in the broadcasting world. And like I say politics, and that sounds kind of intimidating, but it's just like knowing who's making the decisions and trying to, find a way to be as close to those people as possible and as trustable to those people as possible. Like a large part of why I've gotten the opportunities that I've been able to be blessed with so far is because the people around me trust me at Clemson. They know I'm going to show up early. They know I'm going to do my preparation, and they know I'm going to provide a quality product every time I step behind the mic. So I think a lot of that, though, is like what people don't see, to your point, Brandon, about networking, where it's like, it's the 15 basketball and soccer and tennis and gymnastics and softball events that I was at, where I went up and made it, a focal point to talk to that person and have 5 minutes of conversation and to keep my face fresh in their mind. So I think networking looks different in this field, but I think like it all wraps back to relationships and who you know, and just making sure that you're being diligent about building relationships with people that are in the industry, and that are close to positions that you would like to have.
Thank you.
I just got one more question quickly before we wrap up.
Yep.
Most overrated, you said you're a basketball guy. Who's the most overrated and underrated college basketball teams this year?
Ooh. That's a good question.
So you're talking about the Kansas game last night. Kansas looked really good. They might be properly rated with Peterson over there hitting those 2 threes at the end.
Yeah, that was crazy from Peterson. Overrated. I don't know. I'm not super high on Purdue this year. I think they lack rim protection, and also I just don't trust Fletcher Lawyer next to Braden Smith to be consistent enough for like 6 straight games or whatever it's going to have to be to win a national championship. As far as underrated, with like a team I think is maybe capable of winning it all, that not a lot of people are giving credit to, I would keep your eye on that Texas Tech team. They didn't have Christian Anderson last night. He got ruled out like
good.
12 minutes before tip off with like this or whatever. I'm not sure what was going on with that, but he's a 20 PPG, 8 assists per game, 44% 3-point shooter. Like the kid's going to be a lottery pick, and they profile as a contender. Keep your eye also on St. Louis. St. Louis is 21-1.
Wow.
They're the highest ranked mid-major. I'm not sure if they're capable of winning a national championship, but if there's going to be a mid-major that pops up in an Elite Eight that's not Gonzaga,
Make a little run,
it would be St. Louis. I really like them. And Coach Schertz, he's not going to be there next year. He's going to be at Oklahoma, or Syracuse or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Faxon, sorry. Trey, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll go. Who would you say is your top 3 athletes coming into the NBA? Like, what do you think is going to be the draft order?
I like Peterson a lot. I'm a little like weird with the cramping stuff, but like when the kid plays, he's ridiculous. Like I haven't seen a shot maker like that in college basketball in maybe the last decade.
It's so pretty.
Cam Boozer, ridiculous player. I mean, you guys don't need me to tell you that. He's like breaking the scale for the impact metrics. Like he's ridiculous. And then like I know Divansta gets a lot of love. I have conflicted.
I don't like him
on him. Yeah,
I don't like him.
He's such a freak athlete, and obviously he destroyed us. So like I'm still a little bit salty about that. But I I think the fit matters a lot for Dybance. I think somebody's going to take him at 3, but I wouldn't sleep on Caleb Wilson for North Carolina. He's just so
Yeah, he's a
athletic.
baller.
He just gets to the rim so effortlessly, and
I
he's
like that kid from Arizona too. What's his name? Oh, I'm
I know who
blanking.
you're talking about.
He's tough.
The kid from Houston is ridiculous. Flemings from Houston is really tough. Wagler from Illinois is tough. Are you talking about Jaden Bradley or are you talking about Koa Pete? I think you're talking about Pete.
Poa.
Yeah,
Poa Pete, dude, he's
yeah,
tough. Oh my God.
yeah. Pete is tough, but this is the best draft class I've seen in like
Oh yeah.
8 years. Like it's freaking
If
loaded.
if
Yeah.
Cooper was in this draft
He's number
class,
one.
where do you, yeah, I
He's
mean,
going one. He's going one.
yeah.
I agree.
People are talking about, oh, he reclassed for a reason, all this stuff. I'm like, bro, come on now.
Cooper and Zion and
Let's
Wemby
be
are like the
real.
best 3 prospects since I started watching basketball. I don't think
He just
anything's
dropped
going to top
49
those
the other
guys.
day, and he's like 19. Like, let's keep it
Yeah.
real.
People
Uh,
forget that he should be in college right now. That game was crazy too. That Mavericks Hornets game was crazy. The Hornets ended
Because
up.
Con had a bunch too, and he hit the game-winning free throws.
Yeah. He man, Khan's such a bucket, bro. I'm so glad he looks good and I don't look like an idiot because I was super high on him in the pre-draft. I didn't think he was gonna be this good. So him, Murray Boyles, and Flag were my top 3 last class. And CMB's got a ways to go on offense, but he's too good of a defender to ignore, in my opinion. The Raptors are pretty good too right now.
yeah, they're really good. Brandon Ingram's been hooping.
Yeah.
Just one last question for you, Faxon. I know you said you've worked with women's basketball for the past 5 years, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media lately. I've been kind of trying to get more into it. I just want to know, like, what's the differences you've been seeing with Coach Poppy and like what he's brought to the team?
Man, that guy's the truth, bro. He's just he's different. Like I genuinely think we have a top 5 coach in the country at Clemson for women's basketball. And I've been with the program a long time now. I did scout team for the women and the men my freshman year. I've been around Brownell a lot. I've been around Amanda Butler and her staff, who were all great to me. But like respectfully to them, like this is a completely different level of coaching that Coach Poppy's been able to instill in our girls. And I know women's basketball isn't everybody's thing. I love basketball. I'm like a big nerd about it. So I love it because I think coaching matters more in women's basketball because the entire game's below the rim and nobody has like supremely elite athletes. So you have to be able to scheme people open for open shots consistently.
Yeah.
And Coach Poppy's just done a phenomenal job of hitting a hard reset on the culture first and foremost. And getting the right type of girls in the building that are representing Clemson well on and off the court. And then on top of that, like pushing them to be their best each and every day, whether that's, as a woman or as a player. I really look up to the guy. I think he's genuinely going to be a superstar in women's basketball for the next 20 years. And I don't think Clemson fans realize what they have on their hands yet, but it's coming. I think they're going to make the tournament this year and then top 5 recruiting class in the country coming next year. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
For sure. I've got like 5 to 10 more minutes. If y'all have questions, I can answer. If not, that's cool too. But don't feel like you need to rush to get out of here. I don't know what the assignment length is.
Oh, you said you were in scout team, men's and women's, bro. You must have been tough. What the heck?
I used to be pretty good, yeah. But let me just tell you, right, like it's the most humbling experience in the world getting your ass busted by Chase Hunter today.
There's levels. Yeah, there's levels for sure. That's like my brother was on the tennis team here at Clemson in 16 through 18. And they would do a thing every year where like the best club tennis player, whatever, would come and try out for the team, so to speak. And he'd play like the worst guy on the team, and the worst guy on the team would beat him like 0-0. And they're just like,
Yeah.
come on.
That's how it was, like working out with the men in the summer. Like I would play what I believe to be the best defense of my life on Chase because that was my matchup every day. And it would be like, I think like I'm accomplishing something athletically and I'm like in front of him the whole time. I'm like, okay, like this is the best defensive possession of my life. And I'm like tapping his hand as he's shooting and he's just laughing on the way back. It's nothing but that. And I'm like, all right, bro, like you got it.
Yeah, it's tough. That's bad. That's a hard matchup.
Yeah, no, all those dudes are like ridiculous though. And then you get them on like the open gym and the gun, and they all shoot like 75 to 80% on open threes. It's ridiculous.
It's all rhythm from there.
Yeah.
I have a question. What would you say is your top 5 NBA teams right now?
Oh, top 5 teams in the NBA right now. It's tough this year. I mean, OKC deserves the nod, obviously. They've been
Pistons actually just passed them in the power rankings, which I was surprised.
I was surprised by that too. I don't know. It's weird. like their net rating stuff would say that they're better without Jalen Williams, but they clearly need him in my opinion. So I don't really know what to make of that. Especially when they get to the playoffs, they're going to need Jalen. The Spurs definitely deserve to be up there too. I don't feel like people are giving them enough credit because they've dealt with a ton of injury stuff. Like Castle's missed time, Wemby's missed time, Fox has missed time, and they're still the 2 seed in the West. Jokic getting back into the fray for the Nuggets is huge. And then I don't know, like I think the Lakers stink, even though they're 29 and 19. I just don't. I
Yeah.
see it anytime I watch them play. LeBron's so checked out, man, which is a little disappointing. But that
He
dude
needs to
Well,
retire. He needs to
Luca,
get out.
Luca is cancer to watch nowadays, bro. It's sad. I got the Luca jersey hanging up on my wall, and it's sad,
Bro,
bro. He's falling off.
he's not the same. He's a chucker now. I'm like, dude, like I remember watching Luca in the bubble against the Clippers. I'm like, this is
Oh,
the greatest player I've ever seen play.
Yeah, bro. That's when I bought
Bro.
the jersey. It's like the All-Star jersey from that year.
You
I
want to
love
talk
that
about the
guy.
bubble? You want to talk about the bubble? Let's talk about Tyler Hero in the bubble. Tyler
Yeah.
Hero had that like 38 piece or whatever in the
Yeah.
championship series. That was, dude, he was my hero when he was in high school. I used to watch the freaking whatever mixtapes of him. Oh my gosh, I wanted to be him so bad.
But
Yeah.
Hold up.
remember the NBA. Oh, sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
No,
was
I
just
still
gonna
like
say-
remember the bubble because
Right
I
now.
mean I'm not like a big like team fan. Oh, there we go. I thought I liked that for a minute. But I love Kawhi. So ever since I watched him at San Diego State, I was like, oh my God, this guy is a
Yeah.
freak of nature. And it is funny listening to him. That was what even grew more for I love the guy because listening to him on interviews, I'm like, wow, so much personality just oozing out of him. I mean, the guy just has the most expressionless takes, but I hated watching that bubble, watching that Clippers team. Then I was just like, man, this Clippers team's not bad. We're pretty good. And then we blew a 3-1 series lead to the Nuggets because we
Just
couldn't stop
pandemic
Jamal Murray.
P.
What's up with the
Oh, God,
comparisons right now
Pandemic
going on?
P shoot 10% for 3 games straight. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I've never seen someone so bad. I'm like, dude,
What's up with the comparisons of this year's Thunder and like the 17 Warriors?
I thought that was ridiculous.
Who's even starting that?
I have no idea.
Probably kids that are like 14 that didn't watch
Dude.
17 Warriors.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But Robert, hold on. Sorry, I just realized I didn't fully answer your question. I think that 4 of the 5 best teams in the NBA are in the West, and I also think that probably like 13 of the best 16 or 17 teams in the NBA are in the West. Funnily enough,
Yeah.
I try and like I watch a lot of. I like watching Will Hardy coach. So I watch the Jazz. I watch a lot of the Hornets. I like the Warriors. Like that's my team. I watch them, even though it's insufferable now. But the East is just so bad, man. Sorry if anybody here roots for an Eastern Conference team, but the East is
The
just
Pistons are good though.
the Pistons are really good. Yeah,
And then the Knicks, they won the
I think the
NC
Knicks are
tournament.
legit, kind of.
yeah. I like the Knicks
And they have a
too.
good roster.
Are they going to trade Bridges?
Well, I was gonna ask real
They might
quick,
trade Cat.
everyone, who do we think Harden's going to?
And Giannis.
I think I think they're going to do that Harden Garland swap, which is
That would work for both teams because that Garland contract is not ideal for Cleveland.
yeah.
I just want to say one thing about Harden. I don't know much about the NBA. I'm more of a college basketball guy, but I went with a buddy to watch the Clippers play the Hornets, and he had like 55 or something, and had like 30 in the first quarter. And I was like, all right, whoever y'all are talking about trades, he deserves some value. All right, he's still got it. He's
Yeah,
back
no,
to
he's a
like
bucket.
when he was in 2019 hitting that double step back, like it wasn't a walk, but they didn't call it. And yeah, he deserves some value wherever he goes.
I think his career is going to age better than it felt in real time. I think a lot of people got on the hate train, and I didn't love him either when he was in his prime. But I think we're going to look back and just be like, holy shit, he was averaging 38 PPG in a season and averaged like 50 points per game over multiple months. Like, I think that's going to age better than it felt in real time because like of the foul baiting crap and stuff, which still drives me crazy. But everybody,
Dude, they were guarding him from behind.
yeah, that Jazz playoff series where Ricky Rubio was just like standing behind him the whole time. Like that's still that doesn't get real.
That's unbelievable.
Faxon, I got one last question for you.
All
What
right.
is your favorite game you've ever did play-by-play for?
Ooh, okay. My favorite game I've ever done play-by-play for. There was a Furman men's game last year, Furman men's basketball, that I thought was a lot of fun. It was against UNC Greensboro, and it went down to the wire. And there's been a couple USC upstate men's basketball games that I've done that I got one buzzer beater, which I thought was like really cool. As far as non-play-by-play goes, sorry, I'm kind of like going off, but y'all remember that Georgia Tech game that went to 8 overtimes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did sidelines for that for national radio, and that
Oh,
is the
that's cool.
craziest sporting event I have ever been at in my life.
Yeah, I bet so. It was cold too. My mom was there. She's like a UGA grad, so she goes to the games. She told me
Dude,
she's freezing her butt off.
freezing cold. And then like with the 2-point conversion stuff, like you have to go back and I got in my car and had like 34,000 steps for the day or something because primarily it was just because like I have to go back and forth the whole time. And then in overtime, they're flipping the end zone every conversion.
Yeah.
So I had to go back and forth all 8 overtimes and like sprinting to get down there to make sure I could do my job the best. But yeah, basketball games are always super fun on play-by-play, Ethan, like close games. But that one that I got to do on the sidelines for Georgia GT, that will stick out as like one of the craziest just games I've ever been at. Like have y'all ever been at a game that you don't have rooting interest in, but it's just like so great that you always remember it? That's what that is to me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Faxon. It's been so nice having you on.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me. And if any of y'all ever need help or anything in this like landscape, whatnot, just hit me up on anything and I got y'all.
Appreciate you.
that.
Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Thank you too.
All right, guys. So that is going to wrap up our first episode of the In the Valley podcast. Anything y'all want to say to conclude?
I'm all good.
All right.
I'm good.
Well, we'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks for the next episode.